Because now every community where you go, when the chief get issue, they call community meeting. One of the first person we say they call at the community now that the imam or the pastor. Those chiefs? Good. And when the imam and pastor say one go the community, the first person they make a call to the paramount chief. So for make this group call that together is very important. As I say, I don't want to tell you why we're there. Somebody will go to another responsibility. So without wasting your time, I want to present to you the man who we all agree in this organization for make it serve as the center for coordinate with activities. We do them on purpose. A professional human rights activist, we're strong in the promotion of the rule of law and governance. As we know, religious leaders, though not to now, before this time, the Bible and Quran most but now they be on Bible and Quran. Right? And we want to forgive people who will get the responsibility in the Sabi. And we not regret them at all. Because we get this man for provide the center hub. A very humble man, I never see it time. Few people who are seen as civil society, they always one at the front for let you see them. Or this is not the man, you always want at the back. Any side we want in at the back. If you don't call up, you know they come before. And when you call and come before, we open much for talk. You know they talk nonsense. We begin talking about what make it stop. So now we begin our responsibility today. We don't do plenty things from all from this group. And why it happened because in at the brain, we bring the suggestions, we support them, and we move on. The Honorable Paramount Chiefs and the religious leaders with the civil society, members of the press, we are join me put our hands together as invited to the podium. Mr. Abdul Fatoma.
Thank you, Reverend Jessifona. You know, when a doctor and a reverend try to introduce you, they intimidate you. They make now, I feel tight for let I will talk. If I don't talk for let people and not tell me say not stop again. So thank you so much, sir. Always humble. And we think around. What are the first people then will for engage after election? During the election, before election, we engage key stakeholders in this country 5 months towards election. We don't go on with 1 week, 2 weeks to election. We engage the market woman, we engage the disabled community, we engage political party and EMBs and security sector for let them carry dialogue, the post also. Let the political party then explain to the security sector and the EMBs what are the challenges and how the security sector and the EMBs will help for addressing challenges. So we as a country will be able to prevent conflict 5 months ahead. Then we carry the disabled and let them explain what are their own challenges, how the ECSA and the other EMBs go able to help them. We count the market women them for let them express the concern of women. We go on at the provinces, we engage the youth and the security sector. We engage traditional leaders at the provinces and the security sector. For let them go able to ask how best we as a country will be able to get peaceful election. We do that one day. A lot of people be thinking say during the election we will get high tension of violence. We'll be able to get a calm on election day with plenty of winners this country be surprised. Because not to that, plenty of people be the thing say for not be the outcome. And they work the way we do with several other organizations themselves when we get interest, like the Interreligious Council, Group Council of Imam, you know, tribal elders, let's say I should say other organizations that we engage in. So we all as country will report to the collective efforts. And I said, you know, the civic education and you know, where Kalilu to Tangi, they said do tremendous work, engaging in entire base and others. So collectively, we all as a patriotic citizens of this country will put women together, then we'll get a peaceful election. Now the election not done. We don't see tension we don't go ignore that tension. And nobody knows say we don't get tension in this country. We get tension. Look at the way we for engage. It good for engage the political party then, yes. It good for engage the EMDs then, yes. But me grow up in this country, I get one clear understanding. With religious leaders and with traditional leaders, with the tribal heads or paramount chiefs, then we get so much power in this country that we bush fight for them within chiefdom or town. The first point of call before even a member for going to court, and then traditional leaders or the religious leaders and then are the first people the way they intervene. So with that two chiefdom they can decide for go resolve that in the amicably than then go to court. Plenty of una witness or una enjoy that thing. Una will come on a paramount chief home, una will come on a religious home. We see that thing and they happen. So for the past 15 or 16 or 17 years, we don't see say the religious leaders in this country and with tribal or paramount chiefs the authority don't reduce our community. We might not want for hearing that, another disrespectful. It didn't bother me when we say, hey, you know, it's a lot wrong, go to the chief there. All man now don't take milk, don't take bottle. For sure, say, instead get that trek. First, that trek may not be made. The trek where we get, now we go to the imam, now we go to the pastor, now we go to the chief. And that chief, they go, we come together. And that community they move on. So we call this thing purposely. You will not go promote cohesion like any part of the country if you not involve these two people there. If you not involve chief, if you not involve religious leader, no way. That cohesion did not work. Because, like I said earlier on, every household in this country, they under the leadership of religious leaders and tribal leaders or paramount chiefs. We get the 16 tribes heads and so meaning every single tribe in this country get representative inside this room. Every Muslim and Christian in this country get representative inside this room. So tell me why we go on for solve salon problem. The first people they will for call. But let them tell we waiting at the challenges there. But let them tell we waiting at the issues the way they make actually they know they see themselves as a powerful authority. I mean people there with authority and with community there again. And how we go come together as a nation collectively for really restore that respect, that confidence, that trust. We cannot build trust in any government institution if we religious bodies, with religious leaders there, the community not get trust in them. We cannot build trust in any government institution if we paramount chiefs there or we tribal chiefs there, we don't get trust and confidence in them. Now from them we dey draw resource. Then we root. So with that, before we say we engage any other sector after the election, this group we say the first people they win our point of call, and we religious leaders and we tribal leaders. We been waste more time for let we start, so I no go deeper. We therefore get representatives that we will talk, but then. One of our other partner organizations, part of this, the Eminent Women Peace Mediator, powerful women, they don't retire in the office, and they say they don't want to retire for the country. So they gather themselves and come together and engage in peace and mediation issues. One of them, in the work for the CCSL and the Secretary General. So 2012, we began another political standoff in this country. In the Secretary General will lead that process. So we go want to let it can share with we in your insight as part of this organization we organize this thing. So when the paramount chiefs representatives and therefore can do the representation, then we're able to know exactly how we as a country will move forward. Deliberately, you know, you are talking about politics here. I don't blame anybody for support politics for that. It's very deliberate. Because then we all learn from being hypocritical with life. When election come, we all they go vote. They go vote. But in your line of your work as religious leaders or tribal leaders, as an independent and professional person, you always get to be mindful of your words to the public. You always get to be mindful of you invent them in the interest of the country. So we can talk how we will move forward. With that, I will call Madam Ebony James. Let me give that insight. Madam.
We esteem religious leaders and the honorable paramount chiefs. I greet you all. I'm glad you know we come together. Sierra Leone is too small. We know Boku, for there, we defend ourselves. We get good qualities. We are a resilient nation. We're able to bounce back. I remember the war and what we went through. And I see how we don't bounce back, the progress that we don't make. However, there are challenges, there are issues we need to address. And we are starting with religious leaders because I have never met a Sierra Leonean who will proudly tell me, say, God do not be. And I don't miss Sierra Leonean will tell me, say, me chief, not to better cost you. We run to you in times of crisis. We run to you when we are happy with the gift Thanksgiving, when we get married, when we born picking. So we must come together. There are challenges which prevent us from coming together. And one of the challenges that are money. As just if you ask Mr. Fatoma, he will tell you, say, funding you get for this activity where we all did it will be or pay for the all. And that's our one challenge where we need for overcome. We as Sierra Leoneans them, let me learn for putting resources them together and say something they happen in our country. If we call the religious leaders them and the paramount chiefs, let them not come because they will get something. Let we come and sit down and organize research. And for do that, we must be united. And the Council of Churches, one of the oldest council in West Africa and the second oldest in Africa, now about 24 churches and 8 affiliates day. We always have been monitoring the elections. Waiting make we successful is we are aware of waiting they happen in our society. So for them we come together, first of all, we must know waiting they happen. Now the abortion bill never passed. What do we know about the abortion bill? Now the giving bill never passed. What is it about? So as religious leaders, as paramount chief, we forget a good knowledge of what the issue be. Unless you have a good knowledge of what the issue is, you will not be able to contribute. And I tell you, no political party gets population like a we. At least for every Sunday, 2 million, 2 million Christians then will gather now one place. Every Friday, at least 3 million Muslims then will gather all over the country. without them not give them money for go, without them not give them ashobi for wear, then they go there. So now we get the people, that is we religious leaders and we chiefs. So to fast forward in 2012, Council of Churches, like we say, we knew the issues, because now with different churches there, we get lawyer, we get judge, we get magistrate, we get doctor, we get. So we call them and say, if we want to handle this issue, the impasse we been there between ex-president and the current president, how we go do and what are the issues? Then in time, then give it step of the issues. What will be the challenges? And for us, prayer is such a powerful tool. So we prayed, and then we went to meet the president, the then president. So it was back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Finally, His Excellency Julius Madabio and His Excellency Ernest Kuroma met and they shook hands. At least they meet. So now again, it go fine for them. We study the issues. Let me look and we must be truthful, because if you can't answer, you're already biased. You already get thing in your mind. You will not see the light. So let me debate. Let me talk. Let me listen for understand, and not for listen for react. Mr. Fatoma is a religious council, like you say, and eminent women. We've been all over the country. Marketplace, we were there too. Ghetto boys, we were there too. So I'd like to say this crowd is here. And once at the end of this meeting, Mr. Fatoma, we identify things that we can do. Workable things that we can do. We give yourself time, and then we see what we can achieve. Also, at the big week, do you let this not be one-off meeting? Are you with me, Mr. Fatoma? Let this not be one-off meeting. If we form committees, then we will say you they handle this. Let us do that, and let me also document what we do. Because me go one let me be picking. No say I was part of such a dignified committee. So let me plan and let me make sure say when we are called, me na last night say and call me, but I say I must come, because business alone is a concern for me. Let us be honest with ourselves and look at Sierra Leone and look at picking them and the future of the country. I thank you now all for coming, and I hope that this is just the first of many dialogues them. We go happy. May God bless you all. Thank you.
I hope you clap for two speakers. Thank you very much. One thing, or the things always stand out very clear, that if you're not a voter in a salon or you're not a politician, you either belong to a tribe or you belong to a church or a mosque. And the thing where we talk about respect, if we get respect for traditional leaders, we get respect for religious leaders, I just say their voice will help people move this country forward, make the engine not stop halfway. The motor car look is slow down. We need unity, as we hear from the speakers then, and if we are united, we get knowledge of waiting really at the issues, the way surround the conflict. We need to take action, and the action they will help people contribute towards the process itself. So we need mediation, that make the peace and conflict and mediation working group together we are today. So we say that a dialogue, when we say the one we call don't talk. Una we come, una self get chance to talk. But not all man, we will get representatives from the various groups there. After which, we will get questions and answer sessions. But we expect the talk them for go, first of all, waiting the organization they do for promote cohesion and community dialogue. Waiting are the challenges. How do we build trust with people in this? So Monday is not trust the state institutions then. Okay, for help them to build trust in them. We're not going to give example now, so now because we don't have to be political. But we get a role for play. When we up on Friday when we talk, we need to talk so that we get confidence and trust in the state institutions. Sunday, we need to do the same. In our various institutions, tribal heads, in communities, the tribal heads can get a role for play to make sure they get trust in their state institutions. Then waiting at the way forward. We need to intervene now. We need to do something now to move forward. Like the last speaker said, he said, if we need, let not just be Nayanoma we talk, then we left. We need to see this after year, get similar meetings there, we need to go into communities there and see how we will go. Not just an suggestion. So how can we move Sierra Leone forward? So for let we start this one, when election day, as they announce the date, so we begin to electoral education. Say you want you to vote, you sign for go vote. As the time they reach there, and now we for promote peace, now we for live amongst yourselves. So for start the discussion, I will call on Mr. Tutangi from Nasi, and you can do 5 minutes, 5 minutes talk on them things they want to mention. So I'll put your hands together for Mr. Tutangi.
Thank you, Reverend Raymond. I just say Reverend no endorsement. Family on the morning, we Islamic, Christian, and community leaders in our for hotel on plenty thank you. We will have plenty for can support this talk. When President Bibi take over 2018, if you see need for more people get this institution when the Council for Civic Education, because we believe say we will do anything, government will do anything, they left out the citizens there. We do not understand what they do, they bring a lot of misunderstanding. So me and go and for make a go, for them to talk to people them, from the classroom, to speaking them, to listen to the people them so that we understand the rights them, and the responsibility there, and the rules they will support for the play in society. But we will say, hey, now me right, now me right. But for every corresponding right, for every right, there's a corresponding responsibility. The next thing they will remember no more. I by the way, Mr. Fatoma and this group, conflict prevention group, where they set this meeting. I've been there offline last week, together with ONS, PPLC, Peace Commission, and other groups there. We go around for talk to people there, for find out from communities there how they sit down with each other after the election. We go right now start to talk to you, so the group be na Falaba and more the still chair for sense what people they feel and what they happen in their communities. And the idea is we go write a report, we will advise government and what's the things that we need for making them bring back society together after the election. What we find out is some of the things the way they happen, not just things the way can happen between people, the individuals them, or family members them, and then they can escalate them, bring campaign politics, so politics can come. And when the politics don't serve, then they can ask for deal with. So that's one of one of the religious leaders and one of the traditional leaders. Because one get the patience, one get the know-how for able for go into some of the issues there for bring a solution to them. Because the government, maybe they don't get the patience or they don't get the know-how. Because anything they do now, the other person will say, oh, because this is our government, because this is our opposition. That mindset already did. We'll find out, say, most of the things they really not between party there in the beginning, between individuals there. So we need now for look at the issues that they're going forward. The one thing we'll also find out from them, people then, is they want to see then government they do something visibly wey e go assure them say they dey make effort for resolve the seeming impasse within our society now wey one party say e no dey can na parliament because we know say na party in government and party house of power na dem dey form the government. There has to be an opposition in every way. So some man can say minister they're not important. No, they're important. So we don't want to make government get that mindset they say the one that they're not important. How we not go make them understand the one that they're important? And even the one that we say they know they come. How we not go for talk to them, make them understand, say they get a sense of they make them get a sense of responsibility. Not only to the people that will vote for them, but for their country itself. Because if how it be, that's what it can be. One of them party and I can be government at any point, the other one can be opposition. If you the opposition, you say no, they play your role. Putting at the chance, say people could give the chance to be government. All of them say also for the plain and people in mind. But what do you say this meeting here important for Makuna as religious leaders them and the traditional leaders them? There is already what we say a debt of trust in all of the institutions. In fact, people that deliberately try for undermine the credibility of all of the institutions in it. You can understand if they undermine the credibility of one individual. So that individual then can pull out or sometimes it will resign or it will retire. So that person then will go if anybody saying it. But if you undermine the credibility of a whole institution, where then people that already inside the institution, they are all national unions them. Not to others, I'm not going to be for now, can be a police chief or be with judiciary leaders. Now we company with among certain people they come out. So how I think say we're going to pay attention to this very important thing. How to bring back trust in the institution. So then one time about cheap day, some man will not like they go talk bad about them. But one day it was most bad. But if when I say all of the institution of chieftaincy, when I undermine the credibility of the institution of chieftaincy, who say who go there? So these are things that we need to pay attention to. And one could talk to with brothers then and with sisters then we deep on politics. Yes, it's fine, all my heart in one. But it will use some time when you forget what you have done, you remember the consequences of this one matter for the whole generation. This is not about we should say in the next 20, 30 years, most of we will not phase out. But what about beginning with the raise? If we put them in the society, if we raise them in the society, we trust not for one another. We trust not for institutions then, how they're able for surmounting difficulties in the way can come and so now all the years we can remember, by that time is how we can get to now, we find out we see how we will give sense by that year and take action. I will encourage one, some of us something that will say that they pay me for the work we do. But one, they know they pay one nothing for the work we do for God and another one they do that work here. And because when they do that work here, out of the free will of my own heart, out of public service mindedness, we find out now to feel bold for talk to the powers that be. Whether they need in government, whether they need in opposition, we rely on them for call them all the years and tell them the things that they need for no. If we don't know do them, but people not able for do them. For me, so I will take the report, I will write them in secret, I will tell my boss all in it for no, but I will not get in secret. But when I get in secret, it will go by him or it don't go by him. And me say not go get a right now for that man at public say, I saw I don't advise me boss. But una now, una not get no bound. Una can easily go if una really understand the issues that they. That's why it's important. For instance, I go na we been just last week. One person Timam say even the ECSL people then, even the district certified result, they say that no district, not be certified result, and the man wants to do, but fortunately, then people also they don't give me them district certified result with all the district election people there, where they sign panel. So now pull and now show. I said, but this one I ain't the man they say they take it. Look, all man don't sign panel this one. What's what they talk about now? So all man say no go, and then say so then misunderstanding, then fake news and that can bring problem. So man still believe say ECS and then you get district certified results then. So man can say, hey, police station by police station result. Yes, that is possible, sometimes it's possible. But that data that they generate. They don't generate that data before, you can even inform me about that one day. So has there been a precedent to this? if president not there, if that one may happen, chance they say we can able for amend with this lawyer so for Moko go add and the moment can our proper say any election for Moko go certify that election and they we need to get them police station by police station results there. Then it not going to be this term because the term don't pass now. What we go do now, if we see that is so important, more to get more put inside the law so that next time any commissioner within that place, he knows it get the responsibility for generate that data day for make people make sure. So because you can say 11,800 polling stations, 14 candidates, all we put now how many pages are there? It will pass 11,000 pages there. Whose book you don't say don't pass 11,000 pages? Because people put the leader. But all of them say as we plan about the bad working commodity. Since not in this possibility that we argue about. But we rely on as leaders them, religious and traditional leaders them. Now we now must still get our credibility intact. And when we use them on our credibility day, we move for solve some of them problems and so move the country forward. We will do that so we will continue the discussion as we carry on. Until now, thank you. God bless your country.
Thank you very much, Mr. Tutange. He's a great man. He's in the right office. For Allah, on a day, in top parties, in the confusion, all for whole side of Africa. Thank you so very much. One of the very important things that we talk about are values as religious leaders and traditional leaders. Nobody got a creamy, so we're not afraid for saying the truth to powers. Whether or not the biggest problem today. People they say we get state capture of traditional leaders and interreligious council. As when these people always say interreligious council is not state captured. They say they put my face on the picture, then they write the name there. And whoever take it time with nobody, I don't talk to nobody, I don't tell them to that paper. I said that yesterday. That's what the press does. People don't cause interreligious council. You're not going to listen to them, then this, then that, and then they don't pay them. One day interreligious council will not talk to no political leader for no election. One day, we will not talk to no political leader. Religious leaders, they do not go by their own name, by their own character, for their own good name. They will not go talk to politicians, or not to interreligious council. The religious council will not go talk to anybody in this country, if I don't know. But they don't cost me. They don't say all kind of things about me. But waiting up, I say, chiefs, religious leaders, if we not speak the truth in this country, nobody else will go on. That's why we have brought you here today. If we can change ourselves, maybe we could not bring other person to only are just there for listening. Not for the there. We're here for women, the leaders, religious leaders, spiritual leaders. Let us talk truth first to ourselves. And then we advise ourselves how we go before. Few people that come in wise, the meeting will not start. You are one for know your name and which group you represent. If you just can't not be introduced, what we on this row first, you know? Alright, quickly.
Apostle was representing the EFSL.
EFSL, the Evangelical Fellowship of Sierra Leone.
Reverend Angela Jackson, representing CCSL in Electoral.
Any other?
Right on this side? Alright, go by here.
If I were known, good driver for Western area.
Chief Mohammed B. Kaloga Serapoli Travel.
Okay, it's okay.
All right, thank you very much. You know, me now I'm also a historian. I study history. Because history they help me for knowing what happened yesterday. They give me more information for preparing myself for tomorrow. And one of the things we are seeing happen in this country, we quick for forget people that we don't live in life for we, they work for we. And when that happen, they want to go up here, when they have to, they go for loading. Like now they talk about war. They became a way born 20 years ago, they don't even know what happened at the war. They come already talk about it. That make where everybody say, when I go to eat, the young man is still joking at it. We already talk about the war. And I want to use this opportunity for recognize two people in the religious field. This man maybe just can talk to me here. Where Fatoma introduced, we can talk about what he just talked about. It set a record in this country where some of you don't know was ever going to be history of this country. From whichever the Council of Churches, now the oldest in West Africa and the second oldest in Africa. First time in the history of this country, and the first woman will be Secretary General and Council of Churches in Sierra Leone for 8 consecutive interrupted years. And this is a history we will not forget. It will always in our mind. So we will not say I want to just here today, Mrs. Edmund James Decker. Do you walk up for her? Not only elite, but elite very well. We all be the first woman for can lead them pastor in this country. Where we start? We thank God, it started well and it ended well. So in fact, what happened after I left, this step, now youth, woman youth. Not only woman, youth. Now they put back this step. So that pastor will be careful of whoever Canada office day again. Alright. The next person I will follow tonight is Sheikh Abubakar Kota. It's a household name. Sabian, very then, we're going to interrupt with her. If we talk about interreligious council in this country, this is now chief number 1. When they laid their life for their peace in this country. Why they do this? You know, the interreligious council executive again, I know they say on television or radio area. If they invite us, we don't agree. Because no one cover the leader they waiting now. But do you not forget that history. So anytime we day, the day of movie, all will recognize it. Check, I'll bow my head to you. And ever remember for that foundation. So the next group we can talk to me this morning after Great Kalilu and Interreligious Council. For can tell me what they do, and what they don't do, and what they plan for do. The first way the Secretariat asked to do that day. Another young man, plenty man of his Sabian, but now will tell you very versatile. They're all over the place. They represent the religious council. Very objective, what to really come out. Very objective, non-political in all the activities. When they speak nothing but the truth. And I'm lekker for that, and I always want to speak for I know you for talk. Neither the Secretary General for Supreme Islamic Council, and a journalist by profession, studied journalism in Malaysia. I don't work at a diplomatic corps for many years. Well experienced one. Sheikh Ibrahim Barry. The floor is yours. 5 minutes. We pass and stop.
Thank you very much. Bismillah, alhamdulillah, assalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah wa ala alihi wa sallam ajma'in. In the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful. The task is very difficult. We'll talk about the Interreligious Council inside 5 minutes in front of the founders and I had Sheikh Conte. They watch me like make around. Yeah. It's not easy, but I will try for reference. We say something you do. They don't begin checking what. First of all, the Interreligious Council, not a typical civil society organization, with a difference. I make one not to see we go out. People they say we only talk. We don't know. We will work, not to megaphone work. So I will outline the work in just 8 points. I've been given 150 points, but I don't get down to 8 points. Number 1, if you see Sierra Leone, the whole world don't give you that certificate. They say we are a peaceful, religious, tolerant country because of the Interreligious Council. This council will bring Muslims, and Christians, even the Muslim community will get the Ahmadis, will get the Shiite, then I believe in the Christian world and get a lot of other sects. The Inter-Religious Council, then they bring you all together. So if they call us, we are peaceful, but because of the Inter-Religious Council. And this is the best job we don't do for maintain the inter-religious harmony and coexistence between we. We know other countries are not also Muslim and Christian, they sit down inside one room. Forget about say they go come together and discuss one program. Number two, we advocate and we mobilize in our own way, as I say. Number three, we defend human rights, rule of law, and good governance. We campaign against things the way, number one, religion, no lack, and good for the community. Not to any way they tell you for campaign with the campaign. When they give you agenda for campaign, we sit down, both the Muslims and the Christians, we sit down, we watch. We see they offend God and the good for the community. Clear example, World Seminar Abortion Bill, not also 2015. Will not be great because it not been fine for we. And even this past government, the ministry back we carried one bill where we debate for so many years, 2-3 years, still will not be, not because we're stubborn, but because it's not fine for we. We don't go, please, not allow whatever the Almighty God. For example, child abuse, we campaign against them because it's not fine. Gender-based violence, just for people because in a girl picking you kick and slap her, we not agree. Early child marriage, small girl, you want land, then force and say that this man for marrying you, we not agree. Other harmful traditional practices where we not say it's not good, we don't agree for that. Violence, we are against violence, we preach against violence. We preach in favor of peaceful coexistence, we are trying for it together, whether our political parties, whether we are trying for it together, whether our tribes, religions, we are trying for it together. And we talk the truth. Working with big people and we tell them the truth. Then this election will pass, so by the way, we play a very important role before the election, during the election, and even now. We continue for do the work. But we know they come out now for 12 and all of you don't do. We observe the registration, the exhibition of the voter list, we observe the voting day itself. We don't observe no more. Now voting, now the tallying of the numbers, tabulation of numbers, not in the hall. But all voting command and the allow all right now we can discuss how we will move forward, like what make us succeed. Again, we will conduct various trainings, workshops, and seminars in Freetown and in the provinces. Again, we will participate in national, regional, and international conferences. Kenya, Ghana, all over the world, we go. Just of this alone, in flag, go up. Again, they engage continuously in peace building and reconciliation. You know the talks on our warfare. Even that August 10, when they begin, we send some people that are the east. We're not going to tell you another we send. We talk to some young man, let them go back. That coffee, when they impose them, we talk to people and say, we respect the coffee. But nobody know that. Because when we want to challenge the coffee, they say they come out. What's in the apple, they say no. During Ebola, then we close the mosque in the church, not so people are not being glad. We tell them, say no, we're not abide. During Corona, that restriction for go praying at church or mosque, people are not being glad. They want violate to tell them, say no, we're not fine. So we do a lot of work for maintaining peace in this country. And finally, the post-election tension, where we brought a mention just now, we're in a reality. We don't get serious engagement with senior stakeholders in this country. We don't meet 2-3 big stakeholders them, and today we don't meet another stakeholder, and we'll get to meet them back to make sure say that tension will not happen after the election. We will resolve it. In brief, and for respect, Reverend Leone instruction, I will stop my. Thank you very much. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Thank you. We find out the eminence group make the right choice because always it does tell us to say Interreligious Council the do. Now that to look out for. And we currently in a state where we need the intervention. We need them, especially in the mediation role. And as a way forward, you don't tell me say dialogue to go on, mediation to go on, effort for the big one that we hold on to the conflict, see reason for we come together, let we unite, let we get unity. They on. And we said we join hands with them, so let we pray that the success we talk about, they will achieve them. And very soon we will go back to normalcy. We want for continue, and if you don't hear from the religious side, the next group we associate with the one for the reform and from the traditional leaders. Because as I mentioned earlier, if you not go to church or mosque, they won't go to chief. And this is said in a committee, a community, we quick, let me neighbor them. I can see them they come out to me and ask, this will come out to chief. Because I can ask, I say, hey, my owner said, all the time I never resolve one to myself. He said, no, he said, what chief say? Then I define that even in case chief man say, we say, the whole care and go. If chief say, like, can go police, we say, they go police with them. So, that respect day, what we need for building them up. So, we will call on the representative now of the paramount and the traditional leaders then. Then they can tell what they do. And the challenges are in the face and the way forward. So now we put our hands together for the chairman.
Thank you. I know you're even a clap. Now, good morning.
Good morning.
Let me say big thanks to Mr. Fatoma. We are able to say if we get a meeting like this, make it involve the 16 tribal heads in the western area. Because na Leone they are so 16 districts, 16 tribal heads. Not also? Na Leone they are so. That's the importance of the tribal heads in the western area, because every region is represented by a tribe. And you will be the talk, me na Chief S.O. Becky, the Kono tribal head, and me na the chairman for the Council of Tribal Heads. Thank you, Una call we for will be part of this workshop. It is timely because the supposed election engagement with religious leaders and traditional heads. It is timely because we all know who did there on the ground. Things like that, some say we know they go parliament, we know they go council, we not believe this institution. And this institution, some of us don't say we not believe, we belong to the institutions. Many years. We born in we need the institutions like the judiciary, parliamentary system, religious council, etc. So if you say you don't believe the institutions then they, and here we there, we not in another planet, we they say Leone, kindly that we responsibility, like we all other speakers before me, they talk, they will join hands for make we talk to them people will say they don't believe some of these institutions. And the institutions, not to corner, they are being legalized through our constitution. When Mr. Fatoma they talk, the role of the traditional leaders, the tribal or paramount chiefs. We know within the paramount chief they stand for, without a paramount chief, without a tribal head. The values been there. The values been there. But now you ask in the street of Africa or you go in schools, you say, what's in the responsibility of the tribal head or a paramount chief of country? Some they don't know. And that thing and they way they bring calm, the responsibility and the respect of traditional leaders is Leone. Because they cut off the civic education. Go they go school, I can see paramount chief, whether they be in any court messenger. They don't have to try to set away that dignity in the CID. But when they can, even the courts, where in the provinces, the paramount chief them in oversee, they take down in their hand, they say that judiciary for manager. Hey, old man is on a boss. Would this be great? If I meet you, sit down and I say, come on, sit down there. It happens. But what is it? Because they don't meet them and they continue to build on it. But when they can, they say civic education, no day, this no day, so they don't know without a leader, without a paramount, without a traditional leader. Coming to this point, we all know the reasons, we all know the problems, but we also don't have. And the only solution to that problem is like this workshop we do with traditional leaders, with religious leaders, journalists. Now the only thing that, how we will move forward with that, the last speaker just said that they on engagements with stakeholders. And they on engagement with stakeholders. So I support you, and this is what we have to do. Like Mami James don't talk now. All these problems, we know it, and we know we'll just end up at workshop. We have to go out of workshop. That be a formidable group where they will say, Fana to you, they come today, who's going to come out. Then Fatuma identified himself. He said, I belong to this organization. I'm bringing so number of people for them to talk to you. Nobody will close he or her door before us. Nobody. Now here we go, we don't get nowhere to go. And we are being covered by law. And that law they now will foresee and maintain. We at Tribal Health, we don't be in several engagements for peace. We don't meet UN women, we don't meet eminent women, all bordering on peace. And in there, I tell the eminent women, we man them, we face war, we language back some time. But let the women champion this peace this time. When they grab, then go. Some stakeholders, when they don't want to see that man, they will see that woman make it peace to her. And this is what we have to do. Now we're there, we're not going to know where to go. Beaucoup of them things in there, where it happen, where the trouble come, they suffer, we the chief them. Because if you come on your neighborhood, you can. For rescue, I have to take you in. He said that this big. I know if you know, come on here. You see? So we want peace. And we want that collaboration for support the government of the day. Otherwise, we're not going to develop. You leave your house in the morning, they're chaotic. Man, you wear the coat, you begin at the coat, you can't walk. No, that house, you don't stand. So with this was, I go want for make Chief Matukibayo is set to General John back up for 2 minutes with permission. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, my chairman. I stand on the existing protocols. In the first place, I go want to make all the tribal heads and the 16 tribal heads we come to this meeting to make them stand. Let's stand up. I go want to let we give them a hand of applause. Okay, when I sit down. This clearly show for say we take this invitation very, very serious when we see the idea. But before ever I will say anything, when my good friend, the Secretary General, Reverend Jesse, then they talk this way, say, some people they don't cause some boku ten on paper, then they take cut and paste for say that's what we talk. We, the members of the Council of Tribal Heads, we totally condemn that. And we not will ever be a party to it. And we will stand by you in whatever they go for. As we all there, when they talk about national cohesion, I think for this, so the national cohesion is in the western area. Because all the 16 tribes of Sierra Leone, we're all there together. And we are all interwoven and intertwined together. And we symbol that the map of Sierra Leone, we 16, we all hold, we hand together. Now in we symbol of Naina we own symbol, we idepa we letter here. And our motto is oneness in action. You touch one, you touch all. You touch one tribal head. Believe in me, we all will make sure to say we will stand tall. That is our motto. Definitely, the national cohesion is there at this western area if only then see how we, the 16 tribal heads, we did together. And I'm the one for ask this body, Mr. Patoma, that we, the 16 tribal heads, want for say, let me take this meeting outside this room, make it go out. And we got one that for make you make sure for say, we say, we are the opinion leaders of this western area, that when we talk, our people will listen. When we walk, they will follow us. If you allow it, for let me call a big meeting of all of the tribal people that are this western area, where we now go address, where this body go address this piece, believe in me, if the stadium been done there, then we be for say we go full up. But this time around, let me hold this kind of meeting now at Tuga Stadium. And when I tell we no more say, when I call when I people there outside, and when I will see them in thousands. Because we talk and I said, the message no go go. Like when we go yonder, when we go talk, when that said, go able to at least take part. Because peace, now a very hard thing for at least get, not a one day talk. Peace, we therefore get them by dialogue. For make we go engage each other And any tribal headway in Denaya, we first and foremost duty now for make peace. We are peacemakers. And so therefore, this kind of meeting will occur. We believe for say, they embrace them, and after here, we will call meeting that every tribal head will engage in sub-chiefdom. We get over 500 sub-chiefdom in this western area, in every nook and corner. And we will take this message back to them. In the first place, for me, there's a national question in Sierra Leone. How the intermarriages done interwoven with. Me were at an so me na mende, but I know one day married me tribe. Woman way I married na Tibini. So if I also Tibini, they call me uncle. Then me and Pukine again were born. 3 of them they married to Liba. So as a society way, this thing can. To me, because people they talk about tribalism, but we get tribalism in Sierra Leone? No. Now only when we want to settle, we petty jealousies there, and we petty misunderstanding there. Then we bring in tribalism for make we go take that as a yardstick, forget to one another. But because of the intermarriages, and because we are interwoven in such a way that at least me believe to say so, we for stand for peace. And this people when I don't call, we were now the first people the way when I don't call. Mr. Fatoma, I go one for make when I go set up a committee of moral guarantors. Moral guarantors in the sense that whenever we see anything that go wrong, make we don't let sit down until it go out of hand. Make we condemn them or make we embrace them. But if we, as moral guarantors, then they, when we see something that go wrong and we don't talk them until it go out of hand before ever we come inside. The Englishman say prevention is better than cure. And I believe for say, Reverend Jesse, all the tribal heads are waiting there. From today, we are a member of your interreligious council. Because why I say so, there is no tribal head wearing a pagan. None. As we are all seated here, we are all Christians and Muslims. Not also tribal heads. Mr. Sefu Atinap, me, now the president of the main association of the UMC Cathedral, the King Memorial, the great King Memorial of Regent Road. So me are the president of the main. So because me are a devout Christian, so I believe for say, by extension, me are a member of your council. And as from today, we don't join you council. Thank you very much. Good job. The longest. We're happy for your voice. Whenever he speaks, he speaks my heart. I'm glad for your mom, their children. I'm just saying that chief for chief. I'm mommy, I'm for the first of penny on chief. With the leader one day. I'm both this pastor. I plan for the one for crowd me after us, you know, I'm not pastor, no, I'm chief. All right. Thank you so very much, the chiefs then. I think say all we do we done here really very wonderful. Not so? At least no organization out there we know they do something towards peace. We want to move the meeting forward. We get question and answer. But we're not going to emphasize much on the question and answers. Yeah? Maybe I'm going to entertain maximum 4 questions, if at all they are there. But which I will follow with anyone. And the way forward. What can we do? What concrete decisions we will take? From this meeting, we'll get the paramount chiefs and the religious leaders for promoting national social cohesion and community dialogue and country. Even if one will go beyond the community level, we get a national stalemate right now in the country. It's a religious council, they do their utmost best. Sheikh no retail and all which they do because we still don't tell my age. And we still continue to say the religious council they do nothing. But the day we come out and speak, we'll clap for we. We already work for the people in prison. We don't work for bringing peace and salute. They let God in get the glory. We live on that. God in power was trying to compromise what we look forward to. I want to entertain maximum 4 questions of any kind you want to ask, either from what you don't talk, or maybe you want to ask. And I see any should have been very unique, and I make appreciate that from CCSI. That was a unique role they played, and if I for no area. Otherwise, we left now. You have a teacher who called me and said, Reverend, I heard that you gave an opportunity to CCSI to speak out. STA will ask the same question. The Catholic Church, when I'm boss, the Archbishop will ask me the same question. So let me tell you
between ECSL and political party, these things, then I tell her, say, the fact that say ECSL a member of this conflict prevention group, if we say we do mediation a conflict of interest, then another independent body come between them, we go work or observers. But no matter how neutral role we want for play, the fact that say ECSN and we your member, we will be biased because of all the inside one. So a look at and say you make a very, very valid point, and that is true. Now that truth today, then we for the speak to we said, if we had or swallow. So with this, we apologize for that thing on the agenda, and we respect that say ECSF will respect this observation, and we're happy that ECSF honor the invitation. CCSL Council of Churches, honor the invitation, and we apologize that we create such a conflict on the agenda, and it's good that we get the religious authorities to guide me through for avoid such a conflict. And we think say speaker after speaker are not able to say, but we're on the way forward. How do we want to relate to be with your respect? Because one thing that I said earlier, we do this thing not for them we cannot this way. Now how we go address the challenges that we will face? Waiting make that erosion not take place now in that space. The religious space and the traditional leaders and paramount chief space. We might not want them, but as it looks now, it's not good for we as a country. We need also with religious leaders that they appear, let them get the utmost respect, whether they respect any politician at this land, including the president. But the president himself, he not going to say he will disrespect any religious leader. So religious leaders across the world are one of the most respectable people there. Traditional leaders and national leaders, they are the most respectable people. They don't say we don't go hold accountable. But at every given time, we must show that sign of respect to them. So why that erosion didn't take place? You thinking of the way forward, now be honest and sincere how we will address that.
So apologies accepted. Please, all the records have that edited. If you recorded it, you don't get any reason for apologize. Our brother, our friend, I wanted at the same game, yeah? And I'm sure Uncle Joshua gets clear understanding, yeah? All right, thank you. Anybody get any question you want to ask? Any question you want to ask? From one or two minutes? Huh? No, give me a comment too. You want me a comment? Okay, Chef Barry. And then, are you the rapporteur? Rapporteurs, please take note for the concrete step forward, signaling with the minor observation or a suggestion. Rapporteurs, please.
Thank you very much. I think this debate is going on now, seriously. What do we expect from traditional leaders and religious leaders? But we need for do a thorough research for know why the erosion of the authority of traditional leaders and the respect we religious leaders and get in the society. The advent of this Western democracy don't pay too much attention on political parties and other formal entities at the expense of traditional religious authorities. We are in the foundation of governance and the system even before colonialism. These religious traditional leaders we see, these were the governors, the governed we, you see, according to the customs and tradition. So I think one of the issues that we need for people is for empower them, because lack of resources don't affect them so much. They get the title as chiefs, as traditional leaders, but how can they sustain themselves? Before, they may get their own way of sustaining themselves. They may get plantations, they get farms, where they may generate income. But now all that has been taken away by the new structural adjustment. We don't get the local council, the councillors, the members of parliament and other government bodies. So they are left now without any resources, and that has weakened their authority so much. To the extent now they are advocating for get more resources from the central government, which will compromise their neutrality. Come to religious leaders, we have been pushed to perform ritualistic practices, that is marriage, polado, or burying. Or when we get a function, they give you 5 minutes, give opening prayer, closing prayer, that's it. They don't allocate time for religious people to come and participate in a particular debate. The only thing we ignite the role of religious leaders, now where that people come, where it touch on society, we were not consulted. It was the parliamentary business, But when we come up to say no, at the time the hierarchy focus on religious people and give us the chance to participate. So I think resources is number one. Number two, we need for empower and get a mental shift. For say you as a church leader, now let a church no way for go, or you imam na mosque no way for go. Outside the mosque and the church, you don't get much role. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you, Shibari. Those are two select points you mentioned. Any other comment or question or a suggestion for the way forward? Yes, Mrs. Dekan. Suggestion for the way forward. Rapporteurs, please take note.
We say knowledge is power. And there's saying, we all sabi lizard, not so. Although, if for done from the high Uruku tree, where it can do, nobody no clap for him. You look so, now I shake here. You say, me, at the pace myself. This size work for done and not die. My take with the religious leaders is, let we get interest not only in fasting and praying, but what is happening in society. I'll give you an example. This climate change. What is wrong with us religious leaders? Get people now. You say government, give you one side way down the road. We say go. We plant trees there. Look at the city. If one head of church come out the old shovel, he say they clean street, none of his church member go pass, they not stop them mozuka, then we will make impact. So me they appeal to we for say, let us go into the communities. They will come on with churches and we must. Let we do activities where then they will not even ask waiting religious leaders and we do, because they still will take interest in the everyday running in the everyday activities in the lives of them people. So let us have radio programs. Let one chief Leone religious leader go. He say today we don't come. We can't talk, tell una wetin for do. So things like radio programs, the Africa say, then we form committees. The imam, the pastor, and the chief. If we see they go na radio, elected for 1 time per month, they go talk to the people then. Then they see we they take part. Go to Ministry of values, water resources. Let me get the minister go na radio. Tell we start waiting make people know they get water. Then we people and say, me I know they get water, but me pastor, me imam, me local chief, he interested. He don't drag the minister go. We want answers. You know, when I went to Rwanda long years ago, one of the citizens that they tell me, they say, you know what Kigami do? He take divide into wards this community. Nobody know the camp that this community with the chief no. And I saw the information they go. So let we chiefs them, let them make we know say that they are community. The community where they the only time where they hearing about chief. Now we plug a big in sermons. So let we take interest in with people them. Nothing wrong for the chief to go around. He say, this is community.co. This is community they get them we want picking them. Then post them. And so then collapse in the smoke or doing cushion hush. That's it. What have we done about it as community leaders? As paramount chief, now the community, the people the way they sell. What's it wrong if with Chief Becky in community where he got the informant for say that person now they smoke or drink push. He go there, he tell the people and say, you either stop for selling kush na yaso to kill them or you move out of the community. Do something. Me go glad a gentleman died in our community in my community. That Poto. He come out smoke kush, handsome, tall, 6 foot man. You see him, he go let boy picking. I see the camera they make so evaporate for done in that kid. That is it. I almost went to the chief and said, Chief, but this Potias community, they what see you do. So, without the finances, there are things that we can do. So, at the big Unaduya, come out, religious leaders, come out. Let me take part in community contemporary issues. God go bless you.
Thank you very much. Yes, my brother. The mic of the place to the young man.
Yes, I'm Hassan Bishikoma, journalist from Contimes. From the big board there, is to see how the religious leaders and so our traditional leaders, how they can promote peace and cohesion post-elections. In her statement earlier, she tell me say that the dual 2012 between former presidents and this current president, it's worked. And now, we all know say when two leaders of strength come together, Samuel Kamara, but if you talk to the APC people, sorry for all political parties, they must listen to her. If Marabi call the SLPP side, they must listen to her. What are the method when will be used 2012? And what thing I want for add on this kind of method because it's taking long. Now with the CCA, even Abacha Street, they want for the rest of business, they will account this way, but then they take and say that political activity making the pull a name, or some man put the passport for anywhere happen, they take and say that politics make a go on to her. So don't we think prolonging or taking too long will get people more aggrieved day by day? Waiting 2012 method the council they use is not applicable now for this year. They bring it to population together.
make them able for check and talk to their constituencies there. Waiting now for add.
Mike, please talk.
One of the things that we do, we make sure say all of the political leaders, in fact, the council with the one with heads of churches say, if you belong to any party, don't be active. That is, you don't go where this party don't go a leader, you go to my talk. So you don't go see any head of church where you go normal party day. That is one. Then we also patience. It is a long process, but we are trustworthy. Now that's make if we go meet this one, so waiting we go discuss. We know they put on the radio. We know the Allah say, hey, because the community they want know waiting on they do. But sometimes you get for work underground. It is trust, it is patience, and it is commitment to the process. Because sometimes the process is long. When I go, they meet it every no. Sometimes they 10 o'clock and then they will call on for car meeting. So if we are going to engage, let us use people who are trustworthy, people with a background. You make sure say na good background the person, and also person with them in all sin and so or we be no campaign. And let me be committed. Go to the meetings and listen to understand. Above all, then we play.
All right, Shekonte, I'll come to you. Sorry, I need to come back to you, sir.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Moderator. Me, I just want for the name and waiting me brother journalist over here that he say. You know, the expectation of people, they will not keep them in suspense for too long. And the longer it takes, the more it will be. So I think so for when do we meet, who for meet as a group? The earlier the better. And as Mama Dokan may say, that 2018, the group have been mixed with political party representatives have been there, interreligious council, journalists, civil society groups, representatives. We go all over. We are divided. So go now the south, north, east, and so forth. So you don't pass 1 month now after this election. So interreligious council will be saying just now, would they meet some stakeholders. But I found myself also, but with chief, he don't even go to the extent, say, let me pull this meeting now. Make we put a member away. So when let me try for this method for apply borrowed from the method who will be applied 2018. Then we move. Then we meet some people that are all for this now.
All right, thank you, Check. You see, this meeting today mean election conflict prevention. I want to comment for interreligious council. I make you wait and say for talk and selection very speak. Don't mean ahead of the secretariat. But I don't push me to get for talk. You know, the situation in 2023 and that of 2018 will be the same. 2012 will not be the same. Plenty people don't continue at time. Plenty people. They don't cast doubt on the election result, but transparency question, accountability problem, they don't go wild to everybody in the world. To the point that one group feel aggrieved and they want pen on waiting people don't see. Another group they think say, no, nothing is wrong. Everything going well. And many Sierra Leoneans believe in that. See, everything fine, that's not go wrong. And we get those where they think say, no hide behind the constitution. This is a constitutional matter. We don't ever get this president before? No. So why they want to follow through this now? So it's a difficult scenario altogether. For let's for break that barrier from the part of the Interreligious Council, we want to come from a well-informed background. That when we speak out, when they speak from which we don't gather. We have spoken to ECSL, all the commissioners. We know the questions we'll ask them. From what you hear from European Union, from you, from other people who self-observe the election, we don't talk. We don't know time. We don't meet with the security apparatus, the CDS, the IGP, Office of National Security. We don't talk to them. We know the issue we talk about. The second group will really go on for me at the APC. But the first thing they say, when they talk to one another, hypocrites. I can imagine where you go call me hypocrite. Where you go call Archbishop Tabacha's hypocrite. Where you go look Elijah Mutara as a hypocrite. Sheikh Barry. We are religious leaders, we're not convinced. All of us will left them. They're not a reborn salon. But now we get this country that we they call the moral guarantor of the peace already. And that is why we say, no, we don't forget. Today we formit all political parties will register at this election. 2:30. That moment, they don't cancel the meeting. And the reason, very flimsy. But we say we know they give up. So we don't engage PPRC back before I come here. We don't engage PPRC. We are rescheduling another meeting. For correct what they say that the issue will correct. And we are meeting again with them. Good thing. On Saturday, I get a letter from the APC. They said the reason why we meet tonight will bereave. We ambassador die. I'm editorial, we got for bearer. So we'll bereave with it by ABC and T. But Tuesday, no, the 2nd of August, we will write and tell you who's still going to meet tonight. We don't get the issue. So they're going to write me today and give me the date they meet today. And we don't have the reason why we want for me today. Hold on to all of these meetings. They will cage the head. Because what you see as tell you, what the security they tell you, we're not the text side up. So whether I correct or wrong, we'll know whether I correct or wrong, we'll not talk. Because we say and have all day. What's having the issues? So if they talk just for cover up, we don't know. If they use constitution just for protect yourself, we don't know. All done when they go back to the drawing table. This is what we got from this, from this, from this, from this. If any group they want it for bringing come together for clarification, could you? So then you talk about the man only. Now what you know before you talk about it, if you get mind. When you not talk about what you know, you will tell you this why you not talk about it. Until we speak the truth, the matter will solve. So my journalist friend, 5 question. The scenario in 2018 is different from this scenario. 2012, sorry, 2018, right? I know what about what's in the scenario, but the issues are very clear, and now, 2 different. But, what you will assure una, or the request of una, patient. You know what miss the target. I know, you don't delay people anxious, take 10 kill ants, you go save God. Yeah? No problem, no day. One of the 2 will tell, we guide them at the position. No war, no day will not happen at the world. We don't at the battlefield. No war. What's that they done? So we reach there. We are just be patient with it. We are working. We will not go to the point. We will identify what we call eminent persons, not even religious leaders. These eminent persons are people who believe, say, they get some form of control or affiliation with the leaders. President Bill, Samora Kamara, the other big guy in the country. They are working with them behind the scene. We only show what they want to do. And they work when they do when they bring kind of public. Then they do all the work behind the dirty work. But they can report to me. Salud, go. Not just patience more. We are happy. Yeah? We don't care about the government, the cause, the regional council, not it all. They don't die. They don't lose their value. I go some side where somebody say, they don't go on brown envelope. And they try to talk the person, Reverend, no go tell me the truth, not all he will tell me. I accept time. I don't want to give you praise anymore. But God knows what we are doing. No politician will bribe me. No politician. No. I don't get no reason. We will work for the people of this country. We don't know beginner. I don't know RV for 15 years. I don't work with 3 presidents in the other part of this country. Shake on to those. So we try we over, yeah? Can you go and say something?
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you. I just want to share a little experience. I've never said grab like a reverend, don't say a teacher. Me and Mr. Fatoma, we've been fortunate for Sudan and the election steering committee where they be formed. We have been co-chairs of the Civic Education and Conflict Prevention Subcommittee. We hold 10 meetings inside all that period. And at each time, we all we made a report on your activities, them, ECSL report, Ministry of Finance report, all made a report. Then with international partners, them, they made a comment on what we say, or then say if they get updates, they will give them update then day as to how the planning been there for the election. At one point, even we raised an issue with ECSL. For many will come explain to me how they go for do this they call result management system. You know, so then bring the technicians in, they set up for me, they show me all what thing then they do. Unfortunately, with international partners, they're a little disingenuous about some of the things the way they do, and sometimes maybe don't raise with them. Because if we all in the report, including ECSA, we never get the mandate of the state for do the election. They said they can report how they get for do. They knew now when a CSO, when ECSL been give himself Advocacy accreditation. Then now they not can report to this steering committee with all my media, including international partners. Instead, then go debrief the international partners unbeknown to we all we been in this committee. So then they been bring an element of doubt, even in your mind, as to why they do that. At one point in time, said when they talk about violence, they just can't talk in a room, say they deploy violence. And Mr. For someone have been grab it and say, wait to inside 2018, when I've been talk about violence, when I've been go out there and put out a press release. But when I kind of want at this small meeting, when I say we denounce violence, why would I not go put press release? God touched their heart the next day, they put the press release and Mr. Fatoma draw their attention. Say, if I've not been telling yesterday, we're not for them. So all of these things, it bring, just like I say, the scenario of 2023 now they talk about. Because people rush and say, like a news say, okay, the president, if we don't get 50-something%, not get that 56%. How they get there, nobody knew because they never report to me. The ECSS said, no, that money get 56%. How they get there, they say, oh, they're not selling. And we, international partners, they not be play with fair. They talk about projecting result tallying, you know, but ECSS and they sell themselves out on that. They don't say when I don't begin to Pambai election. Why would I not do the general election? We ask them that question. So when each side we do this tallying, we're not going for project also on the wall. But they're not being the talk the way people they expect. Because Solomon, or even anywhere in the world, if you allow a vacuum in communication, fake news go can't take that vacuum there. When the two news go can't go, don't mean to sit down. For pull and come out now, it go take. And another one where I say, I see the father them. You know, it's mind-boggling. They say then 2 miles away, they ahead of this year. They say now an apparition, they say the same church then they go. We not see when I do nothing. Or when I don't say, we don't know. And what's in the thing, we just not come on offline. Reverend all the panati day. What's in the thing with the ambo people them? They say they see nothing. We are sometimes with the drum, but you're not going to work for me, and I know they see the work. When I say we all say we do something, but no, the people are very concerned because they don't see. And what did happen when at the dangerous side of it? Now then we don't now this room we don't count and say they don't all soldier man there because they want for support the state. So you see the danger of all of this? Because we see the people that say nothing no they happen for bringing people they are together. Then they not begin up to say some people that they plan violence. In the minute afraid. There is an uneasy calm all over this country. And we say that we don't job down for bring people them together, we for stand up and do them quickly. Otherwise, miscreants them, bad people then go see the situation and then go enter there. When they enter there, they not go fine. I mean, advise so.
I agree with you. I agree with you, Khalil, 100%. I think it's dangerous when you do work. People don't listen to they do and they report publicly. I agree. It was dangerous. It's very difficult to the drawing table again and advise yourself correctly for what we're doing. Again, we are sympathize with the Archbishop. Sometimes when he thinks in work is as easy as drinking water. Because he's the Archbishop and President Bill and Dr. Samora Kamara are in church, when they think that they eat at the same plate. That is not what it is. Me, I don't get that experience. When President Kuruma will be president of this country, me not be head of church. That period. Me not be pastor. But I tell you, for last year, the first thing they do, they go church stuff. Because the first thing they go see them, when they go to church, they go see them. If you look, President Bill and Samora Kamara, from what is the legendary president does that, ask Father Davis, who's telling them don't go church. And when you want to go see them, honestly, President Bill go and see Archbishop. Dr. Samora Kamara go and see Archbishop. Whatever the way they around them. Someday when they benefit from this system, what the confusion is they benefit. It doesn't mean we the problem solved, you don't block, you get one. So they will prevent you from letting us see them. So I'm sorry for Archbishop, people they ambassador, all that in church them day, all that this they do, why do they bring come together? I go to the European Union, they meet you twice. Now we again. But each time they tell us, are you getting parishioner here? Why not they talk to them? So don't blame the man. So do you want to understand this? It is not as easy as we think. Yeah? Say because Naina the bishop, so you get control over it. No. And apart from that, there is a layer. There is a policy and procedure in the church. Naina the head of church, but not to get the direct pastoral responsibility for them. The person will get pastoral responsibility for them. And Father Davis. Go to Father Davis and they go to her. I don't go to her to say when they talk. The constraint is I do have access to this. I really see them. Right now, you ask yourself, Samora Kamari, what is that? But when problem not be there, it's like all man they touch. You know, waterman, he will rule animal. But waterman are the most difficult thing to handle. When waterman don't say, I don't make up my mind for God's problem. Let God increase and go solve that. Never help. So that's the problem. So here, no help for sorry for our bishop. That man, they don't help. He get health problem. This don't add more to the problems. Right now, they live. Why go they live? This problem being at the country. Although we left down, we'll come back to our business. Yeah? We want to close the meeting very shortly. Anybody get any others?
Like I said, before the election, 5 months to the election, we get intensive engagements in this country. We first meet with all political parties' leadership. We give them 2 options. That we willing for go meet them at the office. If they get any other option, let them tell me. So some they say the distance of the office, they will prefer meet between a real location. So we meet with them, we ask them 2 questions. What's on their challenges? And waiting on that things say that some of the things that we would want to foresee during the election. This was 5 months ahead of the election. We don't tap them, we engage former President Kuruma. We call her. We say, no, write letter. We write letter. In honor of that letter, we communicate with we until we say, "Una want for Kamakeni or Nafito?" We tell and say, "Well, we willing for go any side." They say, "Okay, well, since Una said that, they can't fit on. And when I come, I will make Una know, and I will meet with you." When I say we, representatives of this group, 2 women from Eminent Women, 2 women from Chadi, 2 people then from Interreligious Council. Because we don't neglect the CSNA attend that meeting. We engaged former President Kuma. We did it close to 1 hour, some minutes. When honest and sincere conversation, the day up. And we follow up on some of the concerns we raised with we. We tell and say we will address that. One of the policy where we be the engaged politicians or leaders in this country, we never meet you without camera, without any device for record you. We dey tell you say if you want for record we or video we, you get 100% right. But when we come to you, so we not dey record you, we not dey snap you. We just want for let we talk the issues. Then we go back and see how we go address the issues that they immediately. Nobody know anything of that na radio or social media, but the outcomes of them will be reflectable. We do that with political parties during by-elections. We dey talk to them and tell them wetin dem want for let we intervene within them and the security sector. We dey ensure say if they arrest the members, we engage the security sector or release the members on conditions that if you go disrupt a whole community, if you repeat it again, they will hold you there and charge you to court. But because of we want peace, we don't go talk of peace. Then the other party where they go talk to, they remember that they're under bondage or that they're under detention. So we look at the reasonable things the way will make each party go enter another room for peace. Please with and satisfied. We do that at Kaila, we do that at Cambia, we do that at Wellington, we do that at Guadalajara, we do that at Bendugu. We be active one point to another. When it comes on this issue, we're not active as we be active before the election. The reason being that we get a lot of information into religious, traditional leaders, and all the key actors in Australia come forward for intervene. And it will be confusing for let you see one leader, they meet with 3, 4 different kind of Australians. In which to a point he asks himself, would I have worked with among the one there? So if there is a bottleneck, we can now categorically tell that say, we, like Chief Young be say, or the chairman for the tribal heads say, we can get 2 of Emended, 2 from Interreligious, 2 from Eminent Women, and 2 from Chadi. We try to navigate way how we go meet with APC as a party, we meet with SLPP as a party, then we meet with the government of Sierra Leone as a government. These 3 institutions. But let me get a way how we will restore normalcy in the political land space. Mind you, the problem we get there at the political level for people that decide about it. But that political thing, it don't become a religion in this country, where so many of the compatriots draw resources from it. And if anything were there within the law, it happened within the law. No water man will get right for tamper with her. Because we build law for protect we all. But anything will happen outside of the law, we all for speak out the truth. But let the law take its course and let that truth then be established. If today, because my uncle vex, my auntie vex, we say we dey compromise that law, tomorrow my grandpa go vex. They will compromise that same law. So then we start asking ourselves, why will they establish the law? If we as a country will not develop law, we don't say this law is not there in favor of we. Now we get responsibility back for saying that we will do this law, then we revise this law and make it now how it go suit we all, so we all go laugh, even they slap me pikin. Then we be truthful as how we handle national issues. If you learn the law, let it be law. If the law, you go against the law, let the law take its course. Because big people then, or influential people then, call that the court or the police, where other person don't cause atrocity, then that influence, they kill that thing, we all take and say that injustice. But because of your family member, don't face the justice. So you are okay because of your influence. But what if that you be there at the other end, how you for don't feel? So when the law be the law, then we respect the law. But if any citizen or any institution go against the law, now we get responsibility as a citizen for call out that institution or the head and condemn her. Say you don't go against the laws of this country. You for respect the laws of this country. With that, we will forget better. But because you party or you party there, then they have power today or they're not in a power. They don't do something against the law, but you don't let the law go after them. Or they don't do something within the law, but you don't please. You say, therefore, reverse back outside of that law. I don't think say that a good president will be set for himself if you really want Salon and the betterness of Sierra Leone. So with that, I think I will end. Now with the committee, we not go set committee. We don't set up plenty committee then. But now with the authority of the tribal heads, the religious already deal with me. When we get critical issues at this country now for engaging, we will automatically give them a phone call. Or let them join me. So by then when we approach any political leader or any state authority, we get traditional leader, we get religious leaders then, and civil society and women then to actually address that issue. So we address it. Forming a committee need resources. Now we don't make hypocrites. Any movement we do, we need for spend money. And the international community, they get waiting to spend money back. Things that they used to say important, but then it's not important for them. So they don't give money for that. But you want for doing it requires money. But when the boss was here, they say, well, the civil society, they're not there again. Which international community will they give money for right press release? I go and know. Because I'm good for right press release. So I'm going to make money.
Thank you very much. I hope so we understand the issue for tomorrow. And I'll go over that. We talk very select issues. It takes a mind of wisdom for understanding. And I believe so we all are wise people and we don't understand them very clearly. And we draw that line. You know, make a policy statement, but we really want for make for let we see them as a way forward. And let be something we will take for the notes. In fact, you don't talk about the conflict of interest with the ECS being part of the issue. So now you talk about interreligious council, eminent women, and now the traditional leaders going forward to address critical issues in the country. In addition to the work we will do as election conflict prevention, I want to move that as a motion and ask for the support of the result desire. You think we want to go in that direction? Yes. Huh? Yes. Anybody against that? No. Good. For the records. Okay. The brother wants to say something, and Sister Mary wants to say something. You're okay. For too long, you don't speak down my mind. Thank you very much. Allow your brother. In the next 5 minutes, we'll close this meeting. Yeah? Allow your meeting. Yes, sir.
Good afternoon, all. Just one for who like to call it Cohesion. I want to see at least in our street
no continue. I also believe say value now will make lost from religious leaders and traditional leaders, which I mean, life now like a game. You either get observer, you get player. Which now put over the line, over the years. They don't make the religious leaders them, the traditional leaders them will be observers. And if you get life, if you play, then they play, they make you observer. At the end of the day, observer don't get any value. Now player, don't get value. And therefore, what I say, look simple, and if you look the constituency, that is the farmer chief and the get people there. Every Friday, people dey go mosque. Every Sunday, people dey go to church. And these are people that will make up the country. They will make laws. They don't have police and religion they are there around. Then they go, they make up for themselves. And then they make the law, they pass them. So we don't put you at the place of observing. We just observe them, they play the game, they just observe. And as a result, people in our constituents, people will watch me. They lost respect for me because we are just there observing the players and we know the player. And because we are not players, and we lost respect. And we all say hallelujah. So man, the religious leader, not those stupid, not a fool. It was cool, educated. But choose from the religious leader. But if you don't make us say the man, or the man, the power, the man, you don't forget no stake, you don't forget no voice for politics. If we just don't want to observe, they automatically cohesion not good. Cohesion not good. So, as I say, I don't put some justice going forward. It will be just for now going forward in the future. That if you watch closely, anything will look expansion, will a particular minister for handling for a commission. If going forward, if like a Sario here, we get budget line, they get Ministry of Religious Affairs or Commission of Religious Affairs. It will make a line for we, it will add value for we, and but you shall go for nothing. And it's not that popular. So for longer value, you don't play, that's not going to be that's what we're going.
All right, you're very correct. You know, we get a lot of arguments in both directions. Like with what happened, civil society went to President Leone, and they asked for position in government. And a lot of people frown at them, but they will also see in the cabinet list at least two prominent civil society organization leaders are there, purposeful and one. And some of which still resolve issues, right? But that's not the point. I agree with what you talk about, but me not be a different view. I love what the way religious leaders go from a political person. Because if we want to be the player, the referees, it's difficult for us to play the game. Right? But there's something we have to think about. We have not agreed amongst ourselves who saw one for go or not get to your mind. Alright? But let me ask Nico, facilitator, for coming some few statements. Then Fatoma will close with a closing statement and how you feel about this meeting. And then when Fatoma finish, Reverend Mary, you will give me a vote of thanks, and that will bring it to a close. We will come for prayer. What's the Reverend?
Okay, thank you very much, Reverend. Now we don't go through the whole day's exercise, and we get some key things that we will come up. Yes, we all agree and want to say yes, midday for the traditional leaders and the religious leaders to come together. And also need day for the Unanosидom and wait. Time they move fast. Impatience, they come in. It's like we look, we say, we have to pay staff them, we don't really look, we get the information. But as the pressure they come, we don't see, no, they are giving the information incorrect, no, they pay them first. Other you not correct, wait, see the company again, you say go work. You see, so that we give for take on board now. Time they run out, as somebody mentioned, it don't pass a month. And by the time it go, and so the situation gets worse. I look one newspaper recently, remember we. It's a parliament session they own now. Now that the PR system. After party days or sessions, if you don't go by law, you know, never pull you. So that when the first list, they don't tell them go down. Then waiting the law say, they say for going on the second list and take them. But now, if we sit down, we not try to put her in place, it will still get additional. Now, what are additional ones? Because that day and the first list, we still, hey. Now we be sign say we go down with the second list. Then go sign, say themselves not go if they call them. Problem. So we find to make we think now and act fast. Delay will be dangerous as somebody else we don't talk. So me, I want as a way forward. Because we never go to become a part of the conflict. As Mr. Thomas said, we know about the conflict of interest we did it. But now it's a purely governance issue. So do you? And me not see any law we say the second group say they know they go another 30 days or 30 session lapse. If we go take on a political party, can't put in a position. No. And by election, no go get for day. So let we act now. So they look forward to that group. We look forward to that group. Getting the religious leaders, getting the tribalists. Somebody among the tribalists, he said he mentioned the parliament chiefs. Because we talk about to Salon. Then we get them together with the conflict prevention group and make we get this dialogue going. But as we also consider this dialogue at national level, let me not forget the communities the way we did. Because not to the leadership, the same stone. Not to the leadership, the cause. Not to the leadership, we take part in demonstration. And for the community, we will come out. And also, I appreciate Madam James or Mrs. James in suggestion we make. We stay a community. Me are there Angola community. Me are there Angola community. And the post that we know this country, any salary called Angola talk. And salary for drugs, no they don't do. So we get to step up as leaders, as chiefs. So let we make sure they don't put you. They will see them. Every day they go there, we pass that thing to the city and they sleep and they say, we go around with the same and the same thing. In fact, now, to win a public business now, when they see public smoking, then they will call now. The smoker in the past. So please, we need action. And we need for also take into cognizance the fact, say, term the between. The earlier we do it, the better. On that note, I want for not to put a vote of thanks, but I just want to appreciate you all for whom I come. And make us continue to support this group, the conflict prevention group, so that we will do mediation and make sure that we move forward. Thank you very much.
All right, we'll get concluding statement from the main leader.
Thank you so much, Reverend and women. You do a wonderful job, and we also want to thank the traditional leaders for showing 100% support. You know, shows indeed when you make mention of cohesion and community dialogue, it is at the heart and it is at the interest as the government communities. So for the participation, showing 100% support, I think we will not take for granted. We appreciate this and their contributions and add so much value, to this discussion, because this conversation in a day next week, Gode Mwamba and Reverend Gode Kambe and Gode Potloko and as well Tokoli. So it means that not only Victor, we normally we do even before the election. We'll be the Kenema, we'll be the, Bombali, we'll be the other places as well across the country. So we always make sure say issues pertaining to Leone in Ghana, all corners, so with people that able for participate and understand their issues. Coming to religious leaders, me as a person and the group, we get high respect for them. We respect for them because if we didn't know God and get the understanding of God, not true, not teaching. And with that, we want for the communities that actually respect the presence of any religious leaders and recognize that at all levels. Because, Africa, we are traditionalists. When we want to do everything, even a bad thing and a good thing, not call the presence of God. And the people that we will remember are religious leaders. State opening, their religious leader pray. Closing parliament, their religious leader pray. So, with the recommendations that we come from this floor, these are things that we will engage state institutions for actually recognize. Then Sheikh Barry say, we will actually advocate for their religious leaders and take strategic, positions across the country, at community level, at national level, with their religious influence. If we consider them as moral guarantor, let them presence they that them places before any havoc come. Like even if we for the actually consider say every board that this country parastatal board, we get religious leaders and traditional leaders representing the secure seats. Secure seats. So then we actually see now if the corruption can we say the nation not corrupt. Because if we have our traditional leaders in this parastatal board and also traditional leaders and our parastatal board, then we still say that parastatal they don't fail through corruption. Then we go say we nation don't fail. But then if we only call these people the way we dey launch business for let them pray, the way they fail we say salute don't fail. Sometimes then we unfair with ourselves in this country. So let we advocate for that collectively, the journalists there, we self as citizens, that will collectively push for the inclusion there. Inclusion only means bringing disabled women there in politics. Inclusion means that will bring traditional leaders and religious leaders into governance. That will push for the inclusions there. And then we see how cohesively we continue to move forward. With that, I want to say thanks to the media team that we come for actually work with we and make sure say by tomorrow and the following weeks we will go over the radio the people they are able to talk about this this group. So nationwide and then within live, so Sierra Leoneans and the diaspora also they follow this particular conversation or should say at least they talk good about the community in this country. So now we get lunch. And we go get transportation logistics after the launch. So maybe as the launch they go on, as you know, they arrange that. So possibly done. If you get time, then you can go. But now we want to tell them thank you. And the resolution where Reverend Jesse Fonda asked for, I don't grant to me. We will now go look into that. But see, we get 2 representatives from Interreligious Council, 2 representatives from eminent women, 2 representatives from the tribal heads, and paramount chiefs, council of paramount chiefs. But let me see how we go start for send this dialogue. So waiting first we go to the people who want for me tweet. We give them first a phone call. This set of group want for me tweet. how would I say? So the moment we they give the go ahead, then we keep them when I say this group will support that very movement and the objective day. We don't will go externally for go ask for support. That particular one for me to the APC, SLPP and the government, this group will support that one. But we will get back to the all with how far we will go with that from today to next week. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. So I still have a thank you. The issue will be raised. What has been happening over the years, when government is established, they will write to the Interreligious Council and say, nominate this person to serve in this board or committee. It has already been happening. Sheikh Conte was chairman of the Anti-Corruption Commission for a number of years. When he left, Bishop T. Kuruma was chairman of that board. We were representative on the Independent Police Complaint Board. We were representative on the GRS Commission. We were representative on the SLPC Board. Where is all the boards? NACSA. What did change them? In this regime, we do not know. We get religious level represented, but they did not ask us. They choose who they wanted. They presented in the court. We're not going into that, yeah? We're not going into that. Please, I'll go on to the misunderstood. Okay? As we close, Reverend Mary, we still there for your ringing voice. October, don't tell me thank you, we'll get at the meeting. You say, tell me thank you to the one that will organize the meeting.
Praise the Lord. Not to church video, but I like to praise God. Isaiah 1:18. He said, come now. Let us listen together, said the Lord. And now we pray. We find that in our heaven will make all things possible for you. We want to tell you plenty thank you. Papa God, we tell you thank you for this fine country we live in. And God, we tell you thank you for the election we don't pass. We also tell you plenty thank you for the problems that we will go through. They're not hidden, we they see them. Especially during this rainy season. Things can go, it's not easy. And the problems and they show out. Hey Papa, we were there now no plenty. The one the way they out there them plenty pass through. But we dey pray for your peace. Papa, give Sierra Leoneans and cold hearts. You talk to them in the name of Jesus. God, this WhatsApp, Twitter, all that what calls us. When messages they flow. So man, if you know you read that message for the day, it is access for the people like Father, we dey pray that you give interreligious council, we chief them the sense how for the debunk then wrong information here. Papa God, we dey pray that the one the way you don't put together for bring the leaders them together for let peace for them, give them wisdom, give them righteousness that they not go be biased, give them love, give them wisdom, and above all faith when they not go fear, so that when they stand out, the right thing will happen. Papa God, I tell you thank you. And they tell all man thank you now Yahweh come. When you make and they tell una thank you, you go and do the right thing. Chief, thank you. The other chief them, una thank you. Come on, tell the people and thank you. Will they tell all man I thank you. Ebu James, thank you. Check, thank you. The great man, thank you. Even as I pray, but thank God now you get all the thank you. In Jesus' name.
All right, we'll get me daddy. I'd like you to pray. One of our father, the house, for doing the Islamic blessing.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والصلاة والسلام على أشرف المرسلين سيدنا محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم. In the name of Allah, the most beneficent, the most merciful, Allah, plead to you to touch the heart of each and every Sierra Leonean to realize that war is not good, and whoever try to influence you because of his own selfish end is not doing any good. Let us take lesson from those countries which have been very peaceful, very progressive, and they were convinced by other people that their leaders are not doing good. They ousted him, and now they are in chaos. Typical example like Libya and the others. Allah, we plead to you to let our politicians realize that it is God that gives power to each and every one. Because in the God, you don't see, Malik al-Mulk, Tuti Mulka, Man Tasha, wa Tanzi Mulka Man Tasha. Now, in the possession of power, it give to person what you want. It take out from the person what you want to take out. So let us get that understanding. Whatever your grief is, put Sierra Leone first. Put your children. All of us here now, most of us have passed the middle of our lives. Let us think of the children that we have been paying school fees for. How are they going to live after us? If we leave this country in chaos, they will be the one that will suffer. May God avoid that from this country. بحق أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم ربنا آتنا من لدنك رحمة وهيئ لنا من أمرنا رشدا سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون والسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين.
Alright, now remember 7 you can serve with the lunch, then after that they will do the administrative arrangement. Alright? Hello.